girls, babies in your diapers. Welcome to the Tiberius Show with your host, Tiberius Boy.
That's me, Tiberius. Today we're going to talk about some very awesome stuff. We have a cool video game to talk about, a great book about having friends, my bonus score report, and we got a totally awesome guest, the one, the only, Daniel Bolan. Daniel is an amazing bowler and the founder of Strike for Vets programs that helps raise money for veterans. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you, Tiberius. It's a great honor.
Today, we're going to start off with the video game of the week, and this is going to be a good one.
And now it's time for the video game of the week.
Today's video game is Robot Roller Derby Disco Dodgeball. Isn't that a mouthful?
Just a little bit.
A little mouthful. That's actually pretty cool. So first off, this game is not for people that have medical issues or scissors from flashing lights, so my mom can't play it. But for everyone else, this game looks like being in the middle of Dave and Buster's throwing balls at each other. So everything is flashing and blinking, and there's awesome music playing in the background that matches the flashing. Yeah, it actually does. So this game follows the rules of dodgeball for the most part. So if you throw the ball and hit someone, they are out. If you throw the ball and they catch it, you are out. If you hit someone while doing a special stunt, you get a bonus. Oh, and there's not a line you can't cross, which is good. You're in these robot suits that can help you move them anywhere on the field. The field is also 3D, which means there are ramps and jump places to make you move faster. Of course, that is not in normal dodgeball rules, but it would be fun, isn't it? It's actually pretty fun.
Sounds pretty fun.
My favorite part about the game is getting people out by catching the ball. I know they were expecting to get me out, but instead, they get to be out. Ha 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 ha. So this game is very fast, and you can practice with bots to get better. I play with hard bots, because when I play my dad, I want to be able to beat him, because he's like an expert bot. I have won a few matches against him so far, so that's pretty good. So I like the power-ups that do things like the boomerang that gives you the ball back after you throw it, or hit a bounce over the wall, or my favorite, the homing ball. You can never miss when you have the homing ball. Okay, so let me show you what it looks like. So there's a circle, and there's like an arrow, like a cross inside it, and then if you throw it like straight, and he's over there, it just goes like, and it goes straight to him.
Oh
and you can't miss. But you can deflect. If two balls collide together, bounces back. Because if balls collide together,
Right.
Yeah. So I give Robot Roller Derby Disco Dodgeball 10 out of 10 stars. This is a great fast-paced game that I can play with my dad and his friends. And it's challenging enough that they will keep playing even when I beat them a number of times. The Tiberius Show would like to thank one of our dedicated sponsors, Custom Designs Orlando. These guys are on Mills Avenue and do all sorts of stuff, ranging from photo ID badges, engraved signs, custom Braille ADA signs, vinyl lettering, to trophies and awards. They can ship products all over the United States. You can reach them at 407-898-0373. Over 40 years, Lighthouse Central Florida has provided education, independent life skills, and job training to thousands of Central Floridians who live with blindness or any degree of vision loss. Whether it's picking out clothes in the morning or just moving around your community and serving Orange, Seminole, and Osceola counties. Contact Lighthouse Central Florida at 407-898-2483 or visit them online at lighthousecfl.org. The Tiberius Show would like to thank one of our awesome sponsors, StarChannelUS.com. These guys are very, very cool. They bring 21st century surface drainage solutions to reality. They can do corporate and government work. These are the guys that make roads and bridges safe in the rain. You can see all about them at slotchannelus.com. That website again is slotchannelus.com.
And now we're all ready for the Book of the Week.
Now it's time for the Book of the Week, Real Friends. So this book was written by Han and Shell. So let me read you the back of the book. In fact, Daniel, would you do the honor?
Sure, I would love to. Shannon and Adrian have been best friends ever since they were little, but one day Adrian starts hanging out with Jen, the most popular girl in class and the leader of a circle of friends called The Group. Everyone in it wants to be Jen's number one, and some of the girls would do anything to stay on top, even if it means bullying the others. Now every day is like a roller coaster for Shannon. Will she and Adrian stay friends? Can she stand up for herself? And is she in the group or not?
So this book was written about a girl named Shannon who had a hard time getting friends. Her parents said that she needed to make one good friend, but every time she did, they would move away. Then she made friends with someone that was a member of The Group. This was a group of girls that all liked one girl named Jen. Jen enjoyed being the most popular girl in the group, and that everyone kept wanting to be around her. She would even list the girls in order of importance, and Shannon would be always near the last. But she was still happy because she was still at least a member of the group. Or should I say, the group. Shannon had a very hard relationship with her sister. Her sister would pick on her and lie to her mom and dad about her. It was kind of like one of the girls in the group that would lie about her all the time to Jen. It made her feel bad and run off and cry a lot. She wanted to write a book about her hard time with having friends. She met some older kids and left the group to spend more time with them. She had lots of fun with the older kids, but one of the mean girls from the group kept reminding her that next year the older kids would be gone and she would be all alone again. Later, Jen asked to join Shannon's group because she was tired of being the leader and telling everyone what to do. Shannon also found out why her sister was always mean to her. She was having a hard time with friends in school as well and would take it out on her.
So, yeah, from what you've told me and what the back that I read, it sounds like a very interesting book, don't you think?
Yep, it was actually a true story because, do you know how I know?
How do you know?
Because at the back of the book, there's actually her pictures from school.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm.
Here's her kindergarten one, and here's her second grade one, but she didn't get her first grade one taken, and then here's her third grade one, and then here's her fourth grade one, and then here's her fifth one. Fifth grade one.
Wow, seems very interesting.
Yeah, in kindergarten she looks like, aww.
Well, sounds like an interesting book, don't you think?
Yes, I do. So I give this book 10 out of 10 stars because it is a graphic novel, and I like graphic novels. It is also an AR book at 2nd grade 6th month. It is worth 1 point, so if you are in 2nd grade or 3rd grade, you should read this book. Now it's time for the interview of an interesting person. So today's guest is going to be so much fun. Today we have the one, the only, the amazing Daniel Bolan. Daniel was the founder of Strike for Vets that gave me the bowling ball a few weeks ago. He started it when he was a kid and raised a lot of money to help veterans in need. So first off, how are you enjoying being on the show?
I love being on the show.
So what made you decide to start Strike for Vets?
So I wanted to start Strike for Vets in a way to help veterans and bring a sense of community to veterans. And I do this through different bowling tournaments, golf tournaments, any way that we can get veterans to work together and to get to know the community better.
Yeah. So, what is the best part about raising money to help others?
So the best part about raising money to help others is that it goes to a cause that means something. Everybody has a heart for veterans and those who have served their country honorably. And with Strike for Vets, that is exactly what we do. We raise money to help veterans and veterans' families and veterans' charities, and so that really touches the heart of many people.
So my dad said you were an Eagle Scout. What does that mean?
So, to be an Eagle Scout is to mean that you accomplished all of the ranks in Boy Scouts, and which you'll be getting to soon. So, you accomplish a bunch of tasks and merit badges in a variety of fields: communications, radio, media, and so much more. And so to accomplish an Eagle Scout is to accomplish something of value and of worth. And not to mention it's good for the resume as well.
So I think I passed the radio one.
Yes, very much so.
So when you were a kid, what did you want to do when you grew up? Did you always know you were always going to be a bowler?
So, the short answer is no. When I was younger, I wanted to be a teacher. I actually bought myself little grade books from Office Max, I remember, and I would just make up grades, and it was a whole bunch of fun. I also wanted to be a news broadcaster and work with radio.
Like me?
Correct, and work with radio and television, and just so much more. I never thought I would get into bowling until a few years ago, so I'm very glad I did get into bowling, though.
Now you are one of the top bowlers in the state. How often do you practice?
So I practice anywhere from 4 to 5 days a week. I don't practice every day because usually I'm at tournaments or at leagues on the weekend. But you definitely, as an athlete like me, you have to take a day off and recover and whatnot.
Yeah. So my teacher says that I will use math every day. Do you use math when you do bowling?
Oh yes, so all of the scores, of course, are basic math and how you add it up. And also you'll use it as far as talking about lane play, move 2 boards this way and 2 boards that way. So yes, you use a lot of math in bowling, and more essentially you use a lot of physics as well.
Yeah, because I saw someone get 11 strikes, but then a spare, 10 strikes and a spare at the end. That's a 198.
You're off by a little bit.
A 9 and 8.
Yeah.
A 9 and then a spare.
There you go.
So that's pretty much 298, and that would be my high score if I got that. So, okay. So if our listeners wanted to grow up being a top bowler, what advice would you give them?
So I would definitely start by going to a local pro shop or just trying it out for yourself and seeing if you're really interested in how much you enjoy the game. Get yourself a personalized bowling ball, like the one you got a few shows ago, and just try it out and see how you like it and pick it up from there.
And one day I got my dad, and one day my dad got me a bowling ball, which is not my spare ball. It says the Tiberius the Great on there.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And I like the tropical storm more. So, what is the difference between a one-hand bowler and a two-hand bowler?
So, there's actually less of a difference than people think. And the difference is that a two-hander will use a two-handed approach rather than just a one-handed approach. So, they'll only hold... So, at the beginning of their stance and all the way up to the approach, they'll use 2 hands to carry the ball. But when they release, just as a one-hander, they only use 1 hand. So it's similar, but at the same time, there's different steps taken.
So, what benefits are in two-hand bowling?
So there are multiple things when it comes to two-handed bowling that are beneficial to a player. For example, you can get more speed on the ball, or you can get more revs on the ball. A lot of people like to see the bowling ball hook. And so all of that being a two-hander, you get more of that than you would just being a one-hander, like every day.
So is it still okay to bowl with one hand?
Oh yes, of course, certainly. The interesting thing is when you've been bowling for as long as I have, you see so many people bowling in so many different varieties. So yeah, whether you're bowling one-handed or two-handed, backwards or whatever.
Backwards?
I know,
Really?
right? You would be surprised.
Because I think I've seen someone bowl backwards, like the lanes at their back. And they go like this, but they don't let go, and they go back and they let go. Is that how they do it?
Pretty similar.
Okay.
But yeah, there's more to that. But either way, no matter how you bowl, one-handed or two-handed, you gotta make the work fit. You gotta make the game work for you. And so that is an important part, and whichever route you choose, it's the best.
So I made up a new name for me. I'm a two-hand start bowler, and I kind of go back and I push it with two hands, and then I'm a one-hand finish bowler. That's
wow.
what I call it.
Mm-hmm.
That's supposed to be a one-hand bowler, but that's usually what I call it. So when you are not on lanes, what is your favorite thing to do?
So there are many things I like to do outside of a bowling center, if I get time to be outside of a bowling center, that is. I like to go to the movies with friends, go on runs, get some fitness in, and then sometimes just chill at home.
Yeah. So what else do you do for fun?
So there are a bunch of things that I like to do for fun. I like to watch Netflix and YouTube, and then I like to play some video games here and there, so there you go.
What's your favorite video game?
So there are many video games that I like. They're more sports related, like I like college football and then Madden, of course. A lot of sports related games and
So
single
mostly
player
like
games.
Bolan video games and stuff?
Not exactly. I do have a few of those, of course. I do have a few of those.
Well, I play some of those on my emulator. There's like a trackball, and you have to just like, and all you have to do is just like slap, and it just goes like, and it goes like that. And then sometimes I get strikes. So one time I got a 200 on it. So, do you like board games?
I do. I used to like them more as a kid, but Monopoly, I can always go for a game of Monopoly, and then that's mainly it.
Oh, okay. So what's your favorite book?
So my favorite book is actually one that I just finished, and it's called The 14th Colony. As you know, America has 13 colonies, had 13 colonies, but this book is about what if, Canada was the 14th colony, and it's a big mystery book, and it has a lot of mysteries and about government and politics and stuff, so it's a very interesting read.
That's actually pretty cool. So I know you have a favorite band, right?
Yes, I guess. I don't know if you would consider Maroon 5 or DNCE a huge band, but yes, they are definitely ones I'll listen to, no joke.
Well, my favorite's Queen, so...
Oh, good choice.
Yeah.
Popular choice.
Okay. So can you now tell me that one story? Remember, this is a kid show, but that one story that you're not supposed to tell me about. Come on, you can tell me.
So, everyone likes ice skating, right? Have you been ice skating before?
No. I haven't.
No? Oh, well, it's really fun. Maybe not for me, but... So, what happened was, I was younger, I was around your age, and I went to this birthday party, and it was my first time ice skating. I had never been ice skating before. You know a kid in Florida, right? And so I did not know how to do any of this, and it was this kid's birthday party, and he was from Utah, so they're used to it. And all of a sudden, I was fine. I was on the skates and stuff, and then I just crashed into the wall, blanked out, and then a few other things happened. But it was just not the best experience, so definitely, and this goes into a good life lesson, if you're going to try anything new, obviously you need to research it or look up something on it, even if it's something as little as ice skating.
So, wait. I am supposed to be in an event with you March 10th. You want to tell my listeners about it?
Sure. So we are having Strike for Vets is having an event March 10th at the Boardwalk Bowl on East Colonial in Orlando, and it will be a bowling event, of course, to help raise money for veterans and veterans charities and families that I alluded to earlier. And everyone is welcome, so bring your friends and family.
Actually, I think I will bowl it.
Yes, you will be.
Oh, good. I'll bring my strike ball.
There you go.
Because I need to practice the lanes a little bit and some stuff.
Your sangria
Yeah,
ball,
my
right?
sangria ball. That's my strike ball. And I go like... So what kind of tournament is it?
So this event that we are having March 10th is a Baker Bowling Tournament.
So what is a Baker Bowling Tournament?
Okay, so a Baker Bowling Tournament is a tournament that has teams of 4 or 5, and you each play a frame or 2. So if there's 5 players on a team and 10 frames, do the math, you each we'll bolt 2 frames, like 1 and 6, 2 and 7, 3 and 8, so on and so forth.
Okay. So I think I might be on your team. Thank you so much, Daniel, for being my guest. Can you stick around for Math Corners?
Sure, of course, I would love to.
Mid-State Fire has been providing top-quality fire equipment services for 3 generations to the Central Florida area. Don't wait for an emergency to repair. Call Mid-State Fire today at 407-246-8855. Get your fire extinguishers and emergency lighting for both your home and businesses by visiting www.midstatefire.com. That number again is 407-246-8855. The Tiberius Show would like to thank Boggy Creek Day Boat Adventures for being one of our sponsors. I got to go on an airboat and saw a real gator. I even got to go to the gem mine and mine for some gems. We ate a steak dinner at the restaurant and even got some gator rights. If you want to have a blast with the entire family, I suggest you go to www.bcairboats.com right now. Get your tickets today. The website again is bcairboats.com. Oak Ridge Gun Range is a family-oriented shooting range that has been in business for over 30 years. They specialize in basic firearm training and offer numerous services such as consignments, gun trades, gunsmithing, and concealed weapon classes. I even got my training for gun safety at Oak Ridge Gun Range. Great customer service, and firearm safety is what they do best. So find out more at oakridgegunrange.com.
Get ready, it's time for the Bowling Score Report.
I went to Skylines on Saturday to play with MJ and Emily. I bowled a 115, a 96, and a 97 in the final game. I'm working on changing my starting position to adapt to the natural curve and my new reactive ball, which Sugar has to keep reminding me to move more right. But at least I am keeping up with my spares. I watched PBA bowling tournament this week on TV, and I learned a lot about keeping your focus and getting your spares. And the speakers actually say you need to keep getting on your spares. That's what Jason Belmonte always does. Sometimes he
Definitely, strikes for show and spares for dough is a good way to look at it.
Oh, that's how I didn't say that. I didn't say that. So, if you want to go bowling with me, be sure to join me at the Amos Youth League Saturdays at Amos Skies on OBT at 10 a.m. in the morning, bro.
Tiberius' favorite subject, it's Math Corners.
Thank you, Daniel, for helping me with Math Corners. Today we're going to talk about proper and improper fractions. So this time we are going to work on fractions. We were doing fractions in school, and I kind of like them. Now most of the time we talk about proper fractions. That is where the value is less than 1. But how do you find it out? So, you start off with a few definitions. First off, the denominator, or the bottom number, is the number of the equal parts into which number 1 has been divided. So if we are dividing one part by 10, then the denominator would be 10. The numerator is the number of how many parts are represented. If you have 3 tens and you have 3 parts of the equal amounts of 10 pieces of 1. So as long as the value is less than 1, then you are talking about a proper fraction. So the numerator must always be smaller than the denominator and still be considered a proper fraction. So 1/3 and 2/3 are proper fractions. Is that pretty cool?
Good to know.
Or if you were doing eighths, it would be 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, and 7/8. Now, if the numerator is larger than the denominator, then the value is greater than 1, and that becomes an improper fraction. Also, a fraction that equals 1 is also an improper fraction. So that means 3/3 and 4/3 and 5/3 are all improper fractions. You can turn an improper fraction into a mixed number or a whole number by breaking it out. So 5/3 would be 1 and 2/3, And 6/3 would be the whole number 2. So if the number is a fraction of 1, it is a proper fraction. And if the number is 1 or a larger number, it is an improper fraction. So Daniel, do you now know the difference between proper and improper fractions?
I think I do now. Thank you for helping me.
So can you quiz me?
Sure, I would love to. So if we have a number, say 1/3, what would it be?
Proper.
Yes, correct. And let's say if I had the number 3/3, what would it be?
Improper.
There you go. Sounds like you're doing good already.
Okay, now give me a hard one.
How about 4/29?
Proper. That's proper.
There you go.
Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 23, 24 are all proper. Thank you so much, Daniel, for your help with math corner.
No problem. I enjoyed it. Thank you.
And now it's time for Heart of a Lion. We at the Tiberius Show like living with the heart of a lion. Living with the heart of a lion stands for leadership, integrity, obedience, and nobility. We asked Dr. Ferret exactly what that means.
Leadership is really about influence. Leadership is, and the way we define it is good leadership, is about setting the right example and encouraging other people to do the right thing. Integrity is about doing right no matter what. Through life, there are a lot of different circumstances that arise, and integrity, someone who shows integrity, it doesn't matter what all the external things are, they always choose to do what is right. Obedience is about obeying those who are in authority over you, whether that's a teacher, a boss, a parent, that when you are asked to do something, that you respond with obedience, quickly and completely. Nobility is about having respect. It's about carrying yourself with respect and showing respect to others. When you put these 4 things together, that's Lion Strong.
This week we're going to talk about leadership. For me, I think leadership's the act of loving what is good and having self-control and being disciplined. The qualities of leadership are providing guidance and direction, organization, and being a positive influence on others. So this week, I saw the Orlando Seals play indoor soccer. I was watching the live feed from YouTube since they were on an away game. Lloyd was awesome and kept scoring goals. He would work with his teammates and cheer on everyone as they played. He would provide direction and tell them they did a good job. He would also score goals and pass the ball to the other players so they can score as well. They won 10-6 for the final score. He was a great leader and was sure to share the credit with the coach and team. Daniel, did you see or use leadership at all this week?
Yes, I have used leadership this week. So my team at school were working on a bunch of group projects and so on and so forth, and so we were talking and we sort of got off topic and stuff, and so I had to play the leadership role and to get them back on task so we could finish our work, whatever we needed to do, as soon as possible and not keep wasting all of our time.
So, of all of the Heart of Lion virtues, which is your favorite?
Definitely leadership. I use leadership the most, whether it was telling people, about my Eagle Scout project and how to lead them in helping me with my project, or just everyday leadership, whether it's on a bowling team that you are and, encouraging your fellow teammates in league or whatnot. There are so many things that accomplish the leadership role.
Well, that's amazing. That's our show, folks. I want to thank someone, the only Daniel Bolan, for being my special guest this week. You have been awesome, and I will see you at the March 10th Stripe event again.
Yes, I will see you at the March 10th event, and hopefully many of your listeners will come. They can hear about the event at studentveteransfoundation.org, and hopefully we'll see you and a team there.
Be sure to listen to us next week on the Tiberius Show with your host, Tiberius.
The Tiberius Show is not filmed in front of a live studio audience. Executive producer Joseph Bolan. Production editor Pierre Laguerre. Green Room manager Danny Boyd. Broadcast associate James Smith. And your program host, Tiberius boy! The Tiberius Show is copyright 2018.